Hello and welcome back to this YouTube channel. So, as you know, this is the news analysis session from the Hindu newspaper for UPSC 2025. You know, if you are the new or I can say if you are the first time visitor of this YouTube channel, I would like to say you one few things here. That first of all, we had started this initiative from the 1st of July itself, and with this, we discuss all the important articles, which are the most important articles, which are for your exams. Our aim is to make them very easy for you guys. एक तो हमारा मकसद ये है कि उन मतलब जितने भी आर्टिकल्स हम डिस्कस करें वो बहुत ही कम टाइम में डिस्कस करें और सबसे ज़्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन डिलीवर की जाए। और दूसरी बात, टू डिलीवर दिस इंफॉर्मेशन इन ए वेरी सिंपल लैंग्वेज, मतलब कि ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं करना है, ज़्यादा फैंसी वर्ड्स नहीं यूज़ करना है, वेरी सिंपल लैंग्वेज में जो एक एवरेज स्टूडेंट को समझ में आए। सो दिस ये मकसद है इन वीडियोस का और जो न्यूज़ एनालिसिस आपको डिलीवर करने में। दूसरी बात, अगर आप इफ़ यू आर द न्यू एस्पिरेंट्स फॉर द यूपीएससी, you would had understood one thing, that reading newspapers is not that easy. You know, it would take you at least 3 to 4 hours to read a newspaper, to do the proper analysis and to frame the, or you can say to make the notes from them. But you know, if you would come here, the analysis of that newspaper which are you, पहली बात आपको पता नहीं होता है कि what topics are important for your exam. So leave that thing up to us. We, you know, get the most important topics from the newspapers which are very important for your exams, और उनको हम simplify करते हैं और सबसे ज़्यादा information deliver करने की कोशिश करते हैं। दूसरी बात, in the evening session we take up the quiz session in which we discuss the questions related to the current affairs which we had already studied, so that it would help you in revising the current affairs. And with that we discuss the previous year questions which would help you understanding the pattern of the paper, and trust me, it would definitely help you in eliminating many options when you appear in exam. So my request to you guys is, please stay with me at the end of this video. Do subscribe this channel, you know, it would motivate me, and do like this channel. Thank you very much. Thanks for staying here. Now let us start with the articles which we have to discuss today. Here, there are few news updates which we had discussed. First of all, edible oil adulterated with motor oil. So about adulteration of edible oil we have to discuss. Then rise of far right in Europe and its ramifications. This we would discuss, and we would compare it with the rise of far right during the World War eras, during the First World War, and we would see what are the similarities and what could this lead to. Then we would discuss about the air pollution spikes which may rise death rates in cleaner cities. We would discuss the air pollution spikes and compare the cleaner cities with the less cleaner cities. Then there is an update on smart cities mission in which we don't have to discuss much about it. We just need to get the update that 90% of its projects had completed. Then there is a big news about factory accidents which may be useful for you guys in your mains also. So we will discuss this topic in detail. Then the sixth topic is about the 40th UNESCO Heritage Panel. In this, it is going to be hosted in India. This is what we have to discuss about it. Then about Tahawur Rana extradition. He is the person from the Pakistan. He is involved in 2611, or we can say those Mumbai attack 2008. So he can be extradited from USA to India. He is currently in USA jail. Then we have two major projects which faulted in Kerala. They are ambitious vessels and seaplanes. They faulted. It remained a no-starter. So we will discuss about all these topics in detail. Let us move to our first topic. About edible oil adulterated with the used motor oil. Here we have, in this news हमें क्या मतलब what are the things which we have to remember. First of all, this news in particular, जिस तरह हम इसकी heading देखेंगे, it is not that much I can say that much useful for you in exam. Such question मतलब कि आपको नहीं पूछा जाएगा कि ये कहाँ पे पेट्रोल स्टेशन था जहाँ पे ये adulteration देखी जाए, where they did bidding of that or all that. This is not important, but By that we would start the discussion and we would discuss it in detail. क्या हुआ कि जो 250 पेट्रोल स्टेशंस were found, they what they did, they वो क्या करते थे, वो यूज्ड ऑयल जो मोटर व्हीकल से निकलता था, they would sell them to the highest bidder. और फिर उसकी वजह से क्या होता था, जब वो हाईएस्ट बिडर को सेल करते थे, then they would adulterate them with the edible oil, और फिर that would be sold in the market. So this is the news, but we have to discuss more about it. First of all, we should know that June 7th, which is the World Food Safety Day. And one thing about edible oil in India, we should know that we are the very high consumers of edible oil. So जो हमारा domestic production है, that is not sufficient for us to fulfill our needs. In that case, we need to import from the international market. जब हम international market से edible oil लाते हैं, तो उसकी वजह से क्या होता है, we can't sell that directly to the people because it would be very high costly and people can't afford that oil. So उसकी वजह से क्या करते हैं, what did the companies do, they they doctored it, they adulterated that oil with some different oil. For example, they use the palm oil. Now अब question arise होता है, why palm oil only, and what are the advantages of palm oil, what are the concerns related to palm oil, and why that. अगर हम palm oil का देखेंगे, it is widely used everywhere. You would see it in your cosmetics, you would see it in your chocolates, in dairy products. Everywhere you go, you would find the palm oil. So it is very widely used, but it is not very much healthy. We should know that जब ये palm oil हम किसी cosmetics के साथ लगाते हैं, तो it reacts with it and it is not recommended to be used on your skin. और दूसरी बात, this palm oil अब यूज क्यों करते, आफ्टर, if we know that there are huge disadvantages of this palm oil, but why do we use it? Because its availability. अगर हम देखेंगे बाकी सीड्स, फॉर एग्जांपल सोई सीड से या रेप ऑयल सीड से एंड palm oil, अगर हम इन तीनों को कंपेयर करेंगे इन ए पर्टिकुलर एरिया, तो हम देखेंगे एक एरिया में अगर किसी, फॉर एग्जांपल वी टेक ए 1 हेक्टर ऑफ लैंड, और इसमें हम, in this land we would start cultivating rape oil or soy oil and palm oil. We will find out that palm oil would be most abundant. So ये इजीली अवेलेबल होता है हमारे लिए, एंड दैट्स व्हाई इट इज़ यूज्ड. और दूसरा चीज़ जो इसमें है कि मतलब कि इसका एक और कंसर्न यूजिंग palm oil इज, it is mostly used in South Asian, mostly cultivated in Southeast Asian countries. And what they do huge deforestation. So it does have the impact on the ecology also. So till now, what did we understood? We understood one thing, that जब हम oil import करते हैं, that is not affordable for everyone, so that it is altered. जब हम उसको alter करते हैं, so the most feasible option for the companies is palm oil. But palm oil is not that healthy for us because it has many health concerns. For example, it can lead to cancer, it can lead to heart disease and other things also. So what, and it has ecological impact also because it is mostly grown in Southeast Asian countries and they do huge deforestation for this. That's these are some impacts, bad impacts of it. Then here question arises, why don't we jump to the other options also? As if you remember, if you are very much very much मतलब कि अपना पूरा focus, if you are very much focused in this class, then you would know that we already discussed that अगर हम किसी एरिया वाइज हम इसको देखेंगे, तो एक एरिया में एक हेक्टर में palm oil ज़्यादा कल्टीवेट किया जा सकता है एज कम्पेयर टू अदर एरियाज, अदर सीड्स, फॉर एग्जांपल ऑयल रेप सीड और सोय सीड. सो इसकी वजह से क्या होता है कि what would this would lead to, अगर हम उनको, if we would prefer those seeds over palm oil, this would lead to हाई रेट ऑफ डिफॉरेस्ट्रेशन, क्योंकि उसके लिए हमें बहुत ज़्यादा लैंड भी ज़रूरत है. और मतलब कि दैट वुड लीड वेरी ह्यूज डिफॉरेस्ट्रेशन एज कम्पेयर टू दिस palm oil. सो वी आर इन ए, मतलब कि हम एक ऐसी सिचुएशन में पड़े हैं कि वेयर वी डोंट हैव the options that well available. So let us see, by time maybe we would develop different methods, different technologies by which we can uh, stop using this palm oil. I hope you understood this topic. it is very easy. It was very easy to understand. There are very few points which we need to know about. First, let's repeat it in simpler terms, in simpler language, in simpler words. पहले बात edible oil जो हमारे इंडिया में मिलता है, that is not sufficient enough, so we need to import it. When we import it, if the companies sell it to the people, then it would be very high costly, तो वो बहुत ज़्यादा महंगा पड़ेगा. For that what they do, they do the adulteration of that oil with, they mix it with other oils which are easily available. For the most proper option for them is palm oil, but using palm oil is not that much healthy. Why? Because it has many health concerns. It may lead to cancer, it may lead to heart disease and other diseases also, and also it has environmental impact also. So then question is, if it has these impacts, if it leads to all these things, then why don't we move away from this palm oil and go for the other options? Then why it is still used so much? The answer to this question is, we have other options also. That's, yes, it is true, but what are our options? We have soy seeds, we have rape seeds, but if we compare it with the palm oil seeds, we found out that for a particular area, if we sow all these things, we would get the, मतलब कि सबसे ज़्यादा हमें एक हेक्टर में पाम ऑयल ही मिलेगा, और वो जो ऑयल सीड्स बाकी सारे सीड से वो दे वुड गेट इन लेस क्वांटिटी. तो उसकी वजह से क्या होगा कि इट वुड लीड to more deforestation, it would lead to more ecological, यू नो, वो इकोलॉजी को हार्म करेगा ज़्यादा उसकी वजह से. So that's why we are still relying on palm oil, but there are things are happening very fast, you know, technology is moving very fast, so let's see what would happen in future, and let us discuss about that when the news comes in the future. Now, let's go to the next topic. I hope you understood this topic very well. Now, here the next topic is about the rise of far right in Europe. अगर हम देखेंगे इसका कंटेक्स्ट क्या है, कि अगर हम देखेंगे यूरोप में, इन फ्रांस, इटली, इफ द इलेक्शंस, वी वुड सी द इलेक्शंस देयर, दैट द राइट विंग or far right, they are winning the elections. So how does it concern us as a UPS aspirants? What, why do we need to know about this? Trust me, it is very important. Such questions may be asked in the mains exam, so we should know about that. We should have proper discussion about it. पहली बात आपने सुना होगा, what is it that if you are very much interested in politics, or you would have definitely heard about a right wing and left wing. What is that? If we see its origin, it goes to the French Revolution. During that time, those who wanted to, dethrone the king, they sat on the left side, and those who were loyal to him, they sat on the right side. So it was a right side of the chamber, so it was related to that. So this right wing and left wing idea came from there. Now here, as we have to discuss about the rise of far right in Europe, so what does this far right lead to? It leads to fascism. So for that we have to discuss what is fascism, and then we would discuss how it is related to it. If we see that fascism, it refers to the party which fascism, they refer to the parties which usually rise in 1940s and 50s. You know, for it is the idea of the Italy, in Italy, and in I would say in Germany, uh, during their rise, these parties, this fascism rose. So, what are the qualities of fascism? अगर हम देखेंगे by what is fascism, and what by understanding the qualities, we will understand what is fascism. So, about the qualities of fascism, they are ultra nationalistic. मतलब very, they are very extreme form of nationalism. They are aggressive form of nationalism. Only they are right and rest are wrong. If they are supporting any political party, then that party is right and rest are anti-national. So they have ultra nationalism in it. At that time they had anti-socialist, because socialism was the idea which was rising during that time, so they were very anti-socialist. They had the cult of charismatic leaders. For example, Adolf Hitler, he was the charismatic leader. When he used to say, people used to listen and they used to cry. And one of the traits of the fascism is that they have huge manipulation power. They would say anything, they would manipulate the people, and those people will follow them blindly. Then also they produce the totalitarian state, that they are the supreme, and all that. Only there will they demolish the democracy. They, one important thing about fascism is they rise from the democracy and they attack the democracy. So this is one of the important thing about fascism. So how do we compare this with today's situation, about the how it is related to this today's situation about rise of far right in Europe? अगर हम देखेंगे ट्रेंड्स, अगर उस वक्त जब वर्ल्ड वॉर वन के बाद हुआ था, जो पार्टीज पावर में आ रहे थे, वही ट्रेंड अभी भी चल रहा है, अब डिफरेंट इन अ डिफरेंट वे। मतलब कि जो दे हैव डिफरेंट नाउ, फैसिज्म हैज टेकन new shape. It is called neo-fascism. Now they are not they have this quality of if neo-fascism जो आज के है, they have this quality of ultra nationalism. For example, we see Trump, we see other leaders. I'm very sure if you are listening to these qualities of the fascist, there would be some leader who would come in your mind that these are the things which are in him. So we would take the example of Trump. He is a fascism. He has that make USA great again, all that stuff, all those slogans for him. So this is this is the new trait of fascism. They have this ultra nationalistic properties in them, aggressive nationalism. Then now socialism is the dead idea. Now they are anti-immigration, who people, they don't let others to enter their country, so they think that they will make our country weak, or they have different religious phobia, for example Islamophobia or other things in it. So they tend they translate that information to the people around, और वो उनको कहते हैं कि देखो how great we are, हम कितने अच्छे थे, where we were, and now we are under threat from these people, so we have to protect ourselves. Only way to protect ourselves is by me, Trump, for example. I can protect USA. If you would see the media right now, that everybody is saying if USA would be protected, Trump is the last hope. So this is how they play with the mentality of the people. So now see the, if we would see the, the what are the, if we compare that the fascism in 1920s or 40s and the fascism right now, they are in parallel, but there are different ideas. Maybe socialist is not there, but they are very parallel. And there is a fear that the same situation should not happen like the World War II happened. After that, many people fear that the type of leaders which are rising in the world right now, they should not, this may not lead the type of leaders or the type of thinking which is rising right now, this should not tend towards the World War II situation. It should, there should be no they fear that कहीं और कोई वर्ल्ड वॉर ना हो. So this is how we can compare it, this rise of far right in Europe right now with the rise of far right then in Europe. So one more thing, please don't compare it with the Asian countries. Asia's situation is totally different. So it is particularly for the Europe. Now moving forward to the next topic, it is about the air pollution spikes, which may rise death rates. If we discuss about it, you know we have air quality index, by which we measure particulate matter 2.0, particulate matter 1.0, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, ozone and other gases. So what are the, if these are the pollutants of air pollution of air. Now here we have to compare, the author tries to compare the rise of air pollution in a cleaner city and a city like Delhi, for example. Here, air quality index is very bad. So he says that if the air quality index of a cleaner city rises, the people there would the death rate would raise there as compared to Delhi, because in Delhi we could say that we are very much habitual of this air pollution. But in the areas which has cleaner environment, if the air pollution rises there, so this may lead to the higher death rate is there. For if and also, So what is needed here to protect the cities which has not seen this spike, which has not seen the worst air pollution, is that this is the need of the hour. We have to protect those states or those cities which are not polluted. With this, at the same time we have to protect these already polluted cities. वैसे होता क्या है कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल दिल्ली में इस वक्त एयर पोल्यूशन का मसला है, तो हम ज़्यादा फोकस इसी पे रखेंगे क्योंकि इधर ज़्यादा एयर पोल्यूशन है. बट वी फॉरगेट वन थिंग दैट कि यार क्लीनर सिटीज़ में अगर ऐसा कुछ हुआ तो वहाँ पे लोग ज़्यादा मरेंगे एज कम्पेयर इन दिल्ली. सो देयर इज़ इंक्लूसिव अप्रोच हमें लेना है कि हमें हर एक जगह का ये कंट्रोल करना है. हमें वी हैव टू गिव द इक्वल attention to every city in it. So this is the motto of today's discussion. We need to know about what are the parameters uh, which are seen in air quality index. So please know that because UPSC may ask you such questions. Now moving forward to the next important discussion, next important topic of today's discussion, it is about the smart cities mission. We should know that and there are only few important points which we need to remember in it. 90% of the all projects have been completed, and these are the model cities within the bigger cities. There is nothing much to remember about it. You might have read about it. You know about the qualities of the smart cities, for example, safe and healthy living, e-governance, inclusive economy, green cities, and all that stuff. So that is not the point to discuss here. तो यहाँ पे हमें थोड़ा ये मतलब कि आपको क्या करना था कि एक इन्फॉर्मेशन देनी है कि यार इतना हुआ है, 90% इसका कंप्लीट हुआ है, और इसके बारे में एक थोड़ी सी इन्फॉर्मेशन. दीज आर द मॉडल सिटीज़ विद इन द बिगर सिटीज़. आई होप this much is enough, and I am very sure that in coming classes we will discuss more about it. So trust me and trust the quality, or do comment in the session if I am going too fast or I am going too slow. Do comment where I need to improve, so I would definitely improve. And if you have any questions, do ask in the comment section. Then coming to the next topic, which is factory accidents. This is one of the most important topic of today's discussion. You know, because this thing has happened since long, so it is very important to control it. About factory accidents, we should know that multiple such accidents happen in industrial zones. For example, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, multiple accidents happen there. You know, they are, for example, usually if these accidents happen in the hazardous chemical area, so they are very hazardous for the people living there or living around the factory, or for the workers also. So how we can control these accidents? There should be the proper inspection should be there. But what is the criteria of this proper inspection in India, and how factories are responding to it in India, and what is the rate at which these inspections are done? So let us see about the general inspection rate of factories in India. So for the hazardous chemical industries, we would see that in Maharashtra we have only 23 of total factories in Maharashtra. Only 23% have been checked so far, and in Tamil Nadu only 25% have been checked. In Gujarat only 19% have been checked, and all over India only 26% have been checked. So from this we can say one thing, that the inspection rate is very low in India overall. So these factories are not checked properly. And one thing is important, that we cannot trust the private body, because their main goal is for the benefit of they only think about their benefits. So this is the reason why these factory accidents happen often. Reason for that is lack of inspection. Why do we have lack of inspections? Its reason is lack of manpower. What do we mean by manpower? We have very low appointment rate in it. So when you have very less officers which are appointed for it, it would be very hard for a few officers to do all that stuff. So it would definitely lead to lack of inspections. Then also we had ILO reforms related to it. What does it what does it say that sufficient qualified inspectors should be there who shall inspect these factories, but we are failing at this because we don't have the sufficient qualified inspectors which are failing these inspections. We had given more power to the companies as compared to inspectors. Yes, it was the need of the time to move away from the inspector Raj, but had totally moved away. We had made these inspectors as the tooth stamp. As we also know that we had brought many reforms which went into the wrong direction. For example, we went for the self certification of the companies. They did it for the benefit of themselves. We went for the randomized inspection. We ended the randomized inspections. We went for the online inspection. That is also, they would show only that part which is correct, and the bribery, the old issue in India. So these are some things which are lacking in Indian factories, which lead to the factory accidents, and this causes to the huge death of the people and the huge loss of the property of the people. What are the reasons we have low rate of inspections? What are the reasons for these factory accidents? Low rate of inspections, low appointment rate, ILO convention is not followed. Then we have self-based certification, which is very much, they favor themselves only. Then we have companies have too much power over the inspector, so that they manipulate him in the way they want to. So this was about the factories accident. Let's recap this topic as it is very important. These factory accidents are happening very often in the industrial areas. For example, in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, and other states. So what are the main reason for these factory accidents? Is the author highlighted the one of the most important reason for that is the lack of inspections. If we would see the history of the inspections in Indian factories, or we can see what is the current situation of the inspections of Indian factories, we would find out that in Maharashtra, out of all industries, they are only in out of all hazardous industries, there are only 23% have been checked. In Tamil Nadu, only 25 have been checked. In Gujarat, only 19, and in all over India, only 26% of the industries have been checked so far, which are hazardous. So we could see that there is very low rate of inspection. Because of this low rate of inspection, this this leads to the factory accident, because if there is proper inspection, they would find out the holes in the factory, they would find out the what can lead to the disaster, and they would name those things, and this would help in मतलब कि एक्सीडेंट्स को बचा सकता है. This would help in saving these accidents. But if there is no proper inspection, so these things won't happen. There is no highlight of these things. The companies, they think about their profit only. They don't care about the people around them or about the workers, so it eventually leads to the disaster for the poor people. So, in with this regard, we had reforms under ILO, which says that there should be sufficient qualified inspectors to who shall enter without any prior notice. Those inspectors should be allowed to enter any company without any prior notice. So, but we are failing these ILO standards. We had our reforms, but they had gone in a wrong way. For example, our reforms were self certification, that is the companies were allowed to do self certification, which is one of the drawback of it. Then they have randomized inspections, and these inspections very least happen. Then we have online inspections. They are it is equal to none, because the companies will show only those parts which are good for them. And then bribery, this is one of the old issue, bribery laws, which is one of the old issue in India. So these are the reasons why these factory accidents still happen in India. So I hope I was able to explain this topic very well. And let's move to the next topic and see. Here it is about the 46th UNESCO's Heritage Panel. It is going to meet in India. We would discuss about it by the time when it comes. So please don't worry about it. We will discuss it in very detail, and we will see what are the things which are to be involved in it. Now coming to the last topic of today's discussion, it is about the Tahawur Rana. We all know about the deadly attack in Mumbai in 2008, when 160 people died. because of that attack. So with respect to that attack, a guy from the Pakistan origin, who is currently who was the Canadian businessman who has Canadian citizenship also, was a Canadian businessman. His name is Tahawur Rana. He was in USA jail. He is alleged to be associated with the Mumbai attacks 2008. So with respect to him, he may be extradited to India because India and USA we have the extradition treaty. So he may be extradited to India, and also he is associated with the David Coleman. He is also Pakistani-based terrorist. So there are high chances that he can be extradited to India. So this is about him. This is the news. In it, we should know that India and US we have the extradition treaty, which we had signed with the USA. So I hope I was able to, explain these things very well. I am improving in it. Trust me, by time I would be the best in explaining these things. So right now, this is what I can do, and I would make you sure that by time I would definitely improve. So let's recap the topics which we discussed today. First, we discussed about the factory accidents, the hazardous chemicals being released, the accidents that lead to the killing of people. How why do we have these factory accidents? We discussed about the areas, for example, areas, industrial zone areas, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. We had seen multiple accidents there, and we see these accidents are due to lack of the proper inspection. And we saw the data of inspection in India. We have 26% inspection data. 26% of the companies are inspected. So only 26% companies are inspected. This is definitely against the reforms brought by ILO. And with this regard, we had our reformers too, but they had backfired on us because they had given more chances for them to escape. Then we discussed about the edible oil adulteration with the used motor oil. We discussed about the palm oil. We discussed about impact of palm oil on human health, on environment. We discussed about why we did not move away from the palm oil, why we stay with it, why don't we move away from it. We see the economical cost in it, we see the ecological cost in it. Then we discussed about the rise of the far right in Europe, rise of fascism right now. It shows the trend as similar as during the World War session, World War years of First World War, and now the similarity is there, but in a different form. We discussed about fascism then, and we discussed about fascism now. We can say it is a neo-fascism. Then we discussed about air pollution spikes, how it may impact the people in the cleaner cities, and how it may impact the people in the already polluted cities. Then we discussed about smart cities mission. We discussed about the two major projects which have faulted, for example, seaplanes and ambitious vessels, as they remain the no starter. They faulted. Why? What was the reason? Because there was not proper approach taken, not proper questions were not asked with regarding to that. When they used to develop, they developed it as they seemed unique, but what were the engineering questions, proper engineering questions, they were not used in it. So this led to the failure of those projects. Then we discussed about the upcoming 46th UNESCO's Heritage Panel, which is going to be held in India. And then we discussed about the Tahawur Rana. He might be extradited to India because India and USA has the extradition treaty. So with this, I conclude today's discussion. I hope I was able to deliver the information in a proper way, and trust me, by time I would definitely improve. So what do I want from you guys? Please do subscribe to this channel, as your subscription, when you subscribe, it improves my motivation, and it motivates me to deliver in the best way possible. Thanks for staying here. Thank you very much. Best of luck.